Good morning, welcome to Planet Mojo. Today I'm going to unbox and install this Empire furnace. This is an Empire PVS35 UltraSaver 90 Plus. It's a really efficient furnace, but the last two ones we've had have failed on us. One was recalled, and the last one, the heat exchanger cracked on it. You could see all this soot in the exhaust pipe from that. So hopefully this one does better. I'm probably going to be joined by one of the 4 cats at any given time, and possibly a dog. I already have all of the plumbing done. This is the intake and exhaust pipe. That's pretty simple. It's just PVC pipe, and in most cases you can go right through the wall with it, but in our case we have a window right here, and then we have the propane lines coming in right there. So this goes quite a good way before it exits the building, but it's all within manufacturer's spec. We have our propane line right here. I believe there's a shutoff on the back of the unit, but there's a shutoff back in there as well. And this is for the thermostat. This is actually part of the unit. This is part of the old unit, but we're going to leave this in place unless we have to take it off. I can take the one off on the new unit and just slide this in place, hopefully. And what it's going to do, it has a gasket that's going to seal around this, and this is the fresh air intake. And then there's a couple hose clamps that are going to clamp onto this, and this is the exhaust. Alright, let's unbox this and start getting it put in place. Okay, it looks like it's exactly the same as the old one, so I should be able to use this back part. Looks like I'm going to have to split this. Okay, so these little sheet metal screws back here are 5/16, and it's much easier to use a nut driver on them than a screwdriver. Got 2 more down there, and then it should be the exact same thing on this unit, so I should be able to just take this off and then pop the whole unit right into this framework. Oh, that's it, just 2 screws. The bottom screw is for the case itself. 2 screws on each side. Okay, it looks like we got a problem here. Most of this stuff is exactly the same as the old unit. This is the exhaust right here. This will slide into this pipe, and then that'll get tightened up in here. This is where the air intake goes. This just kind of seals right around this, and it brings the air in right here. The power cord will go through here and get plugged in over here. The gas line is just a simple connection right here. This is the problem right here. It looks like they have the condensate drain just coming out of the back there, and on our previous unit it went down into a tray down here. They said they didn't have any of those trays in stock, and they would send us one when they became in stock, and that we could just run the pipe into a can until then. But on our old one, the pipe went right here. We can't run this into a can, I don't think. unless we could push it all the way back in there and get a pipe on here, because it sticks out too far. It can't stick out further than this, because this will be flat up against that. This is just in a really bad place. Why the hell would they do that? I'm going to have to take this front off and see what's in there. When they do send that condensate pan, all it does is heat up, and then the exhaust air blows over it, and it adds humidity to the room. But that thing is way back in there. How the hell do you get that all the way out to the front without doing this on a bench somewhere? Let me take this off and we'll see what that looks like. Okay, for the most part, this looks exactly like the old unit, except we had a humidifier tray right here. All it was a pan here, and that line that is way back here, that ran around and came through right here. You could see the knockout, came through there and dripped down into that. And when it got to a certain height, it turned on a little heater, and this blower up here blows over the coils in here and down into here. So that would blow the humidity out through the grill right there. Problem is, that is going to be a huge pain in the butt to install that, because that water pipe is way back there. And on the old unit, I had to take out this LP valve and send it to them in order to get this unit. And that took, it was probably 2 hours, and I ended up having to cut it out. Yeah, this is a big problem. Okay, I guess the first thing I have to do is go see if I have any hose this size. I may be able to get this up against here and have that hose come out here. We'll have to give that a try. And I need a fitting for this gas pipe. Then I can just put this in place and test it out and see how it works. Yeah, for the most part, it looks like the old unit. It looks a little different. This is actually twice the BTUs of the old unit. The old unit was 1700, and they discontinued that model. And they may have had problems with it because of the low BTUs. This one is 35,000 BTUs. That is our special needs cat. He had a stroke, and he does everything kind of crooked now. Okay, let me see if I can find that hose and that little fitting, and then we'll try to get this thing put on the wall and start it up. Okay, I was on my way to the door, and I remembered that the instruction packet seemed a bit puffy, and sure enough, it had a chunk of hose in it, which is what I need, and I need this, oh, and I need this as well. This piece right here screws to the back with 6 screws, and it has a gasket around the outside. This presses against that back shroud, and the air intake is right about here. That forces the air to go in here, down, and through here. Not exactly sure why they do it that way, but that is how it's done. Okay, I'll show you how this attaches in a second. I forgot that there was no valve right here. The valve is right back there. I'm going to go turn that on and check this for leaks, and if there's no leaks, I'll run the power cord through and get this up against the wall. I already have the water line on. Now let's turn that gas on. Nope, nothing. Nope, no leaks. I would smell it as well, and we have a propane leak detector right next to it. This right here is the propane leak detector. Nothing. Okay, let's get this thing installed. Show you what it looks like down in there. You can see, or maybe you can't, but our pipe that came through the wall, this one is poking into it now, and as soon as I get this pushed all the way back, that's going to be way inside of this rubber part right here. I got to loosen this up right now. Then when it's all the way back up against the wall, I got to tighten that back up, and that is pretty much it. And when this whole thing is pushed inside here, this part goes all the way back here. When that's pushed all the way back and those are tightened down, I just got to plug it in and turn it on. My bad. This does not go all the way against the wall. It goes right to there, flush with this. Then you can see your bolt holes right here. So that's as tight as it needs to be. Now I just got to tighten down this hose clamp and then put these side screws in, and we'll test her out. I decided to get these side screws in before screwing in that pipe. That way I know everything's going to be lined up. This nut driver is not magnetic, and it's giving me fits. There we go. Put the little access panel back on. Okay, now we'll plug the unit in. Starting to make some noise. Got a light flash in there. I'm surprised it's turning on. It's pretty darn warm in here. And it's set at 65. goes. Let me get the camera off this stand. I'll show you through the ignition port. I'm not sure if you can see that or not. Oh, sure you can. That is ignition, and it's heating this up right now. Oh, there it goes. Got a little bit of factory stink to it, but so far it's not like a cracked heat exchanger. Just the little bit of oil and stuff that's on all the metal. When you first start it up, that burns off. It's a lot worse when you start up a wood stove. It stinks for about a week. Okay, so far so good. It'll be interesting to see how much water we get in this pipe. I'm gonna have to get something underneath this, but so far so good. This grill just goes right on the front right here, and then this front cover goes on and then slides down. Real easy to open this up. Yeah, that is cranking out a lot of heat. These are 90+% efficient, and because we heat with mostly wood anyways, we just use this to warm up the house in the morning, or if we go away somewhere, we barely go through any gas. Yeah, it appears to be working really well. I mean, it's cranking out the heat. I'm getting really hot right here. Okay, I'm gonna call that success. Now I'll go outside and show you where these pipes exhaust. Okay, the furnace is right there on the other side of this window. That's why we couldn't run the exhaust right through the wall here. You have to be a certain distance from windows, and our electric and gas comes in right here, so we couldn't come right through here. So what we had to do was come over to here, go up over the window, and that's the exhaust right there. You have to have the exhaust wrapped with insulation like that, otherwise you'll get a big icicle on there, because that exhaust air is just barely warm and it's real humid. You'll get a few drips coming out of here, but most of the drips go back and to the furnace, and because of that you can have problems with water right at the furnace like we did. That right there is the air intake. They're separated, I think it's like 7 inches. That's per instructions. Everything's up to code. Okay, let me show you a couple things on the old unit here. I have this out here so I can take this blower off, but here is the unit that kept going bad. They're gonna send us one of these, but I don't know if I should put it in or not. Look at how rusty and nasty that is, and it's just gonna get that way again. With that hose coming out of the back, I can figure out something to plumb that to a drain. I think that's what we're gonna do. And then you got this going through the wall here, and this is that connection that I showed you in there. Yeah, I had to cut out the gas valve and send that to them to get our new unit. Pretty much the same. We got a lot of writing on the blower on the new one, but what I wanted to show you was this is the mounting thing that goes on the wall. I'm not sure what they call it. I think they just call it the mounting shroud. You get your pipes fixed so that they're in the exact right spot, and your exhaust pipe is sticking through the exact amount, and your other pipe is flush, and then it has that little ring on there. There's a little metal piece that screws through the back here. That's on the other unit. And then this is that gasket. That gasket presses right up against the metal right here. It's not going to be easy to get this on, but this would go on like that. And then your intake air would come through here, kind of bounce off here. Maybe that's why they do that. It's kind of a baffle so that nothing can come flying through there and go right in. It can't go in anyways. It's got to go around. It hits this, goes down, and then goes in through here. I don't know why they have it like that, but I guess there's a reason. But that is how that stuff is. Over on Trapdoor Woodworks, I just got done bluing all the parts for this, and I'm going to start putting this together a little bit later this week. There's the pulley. If you've seen the videos on that over at Trapdoor, like this part right here was completely rusty and nasty looking. So were these. They were pretty bad, and now they're beautiful. There's a couple more trays of these, and then like this, I'm just going to polish this up. I might as well bring that with me. So, oh, and I got to do this. I'm going to hand do this one. This does not come apart. This is a spring-loaded thing, so I'm going to do a little bit of treatment on that as well. So you'll see this on Trapdoor Woodworks a little bit later this week. And then on this channel, I'm going to get this place all cleaned up and move that scaffolding. I got to take it apart again, and I'm going to move it right here, and I'm going to start getting ready to do the insulation, which I'm also going to start a little bit later this week. So if you want to see that, make sure you subscribe and click on the update icon. If you have any questions or comments, make sure you put them in the comment section below. And if you share the video and or give it a like, it helps the channel out greatly. Thanks for watching and have a great day.